Hey YouTubers, what's up? Um, I was searching through subscriptions and everything, and I came across a thread from Mr. Fartboy. Um, Already seen a couple responses from it, and really good. So I thought I'd get in because it's up my alley. Um, but first, want to give a shout out to Mr. Romport. I believe is the screen name. New subscriber. Uh, Thank you and welcome. And now for the thread thingy. Okay, so Mr. Fartboy comes up with great questions and great, you know, great all the way around. Um, he asked for 5 scary records, or as he termed them, it's a haunted record. So I think was the terminology he used. But 5 scary records. I came up with um, a few more than that, but not many. You know, being in the hard rock, heavy metal, that subject's kind of up my alley. And I start thinking a little more evil this time of year. Even though I'm not big on Halloween, but you start to see the connections. You see demons and skeletons all over the place. Oh yeah, this record, this album cover, and so on and so forth. Um, you know, Motley Crue is not, you know, the intent for heavy metal. So it's supposed to be evil. Okay. Um, Sorry about that. I just have to take yet another stab at um, glam. I won't call it metal because it's not metal. Anyway, moving on. Um, okay. These aren't in any particular order of scariness or anything like that. I just saw the question. These came to mind, and I grabbed them. Um, okay. Um, Black Sabbath record. I don't have this on LP, unfortunately, because I haven't been able to find it for a good price, or the condition that I wanted it in. Um, and although everybody's already seen this, I'll add this in there too on the insert. Um, for the opening, you know, to Black Sabbath, with the rain and the storm and everything, that's again, right there you have a reason why this is really scary. The cover as well, but the other thing that with this one kind of was you know an eye opener to me in a way was or is this the song NIB. I mean, it's a love song from the devil's perspective, and I've always thought that once I understood what that song was about and what was behind that song, that has always ever since then intrigued me as kind of that's an interesting concept. Because you could, in a way, you could apply that to metalheads themselves, with their social awkwardness because you know, they're into weird stuff. Um, you know, um, so that's one of several for this video. The next up, I'm returning to Black Sabbath again, and I'll only do this with one other band. I tried to keep it from just one record from any particular band, but I had to include this um, because the version of Megalomania on disc 2 um, still scares. I mean, the studio version scares me as well, but the first time I heard this, I I almost peed myself. It was his Ozzy's voice on that track. Wow. Um, it was, and there was like with Geezer and with Tony and with Bill back in, they just it sounds like you know the devil's arriving with the way that it sounded. It's really scary for me, and love it. Um, but when I was younger, that was one of those songs I couldn't listen to at night. Um, 'Cause I didn't get nightmares, but it gave me really weird dreams, and I started thinking weird, and that's not good. Um, okay. Um, Next up, Mausoleum, cadaveric displays of ghoulish ghastliness. They're basically, for all intents and purposes, a autopsy tribute band. They covered Destined to Fester, um, and they got interesting song titles. My favorite is Entombed in the Womb, um, but there's the end of the song Flesh Fiends. There's a spoken word like mock news report where they describe it's basically like the start of any zombie movie kind of thing. It follows that same pattern, but it's done in a way that, like, for me, when I heard it, it connected, and I saw it, you know and I gave my own interpretations of it, and my interpretation was extremely um scary. And it was like, it was Tarman, you know times 1,000, with what I saw. And it was like, yeah, that was really cool. I loved it. Um, okay. Um, Necrophania, Divine Art of Torture. Um, Here, let me pull it out of the sleeve so you can see it. Uh, this one's here. This is a still sealed copy. Um, well, no correction. It's got the shrink wrap on it, but it's um, not sealed anymore. But um, I just absolutely fell in love with this um, album cover because it depicts a scene from Coffin Joe movie. I forget the exact movie that this is from, but these are um, mid to late 60s, I think, some maybe 70, 71, horror films from Brazil mostly. Um, and sometimes around this time of year you can see them on IFC kind of thing. But these are just, what I mean. They're really scary films. In that, by today's, you know, Rob Zombie standards, they're not going to be, but they're scary in a different way. Really cool. So I had to include that one. Um, okay, Deliverance, Devil's Meat. Here, I'm sorry. It's better if I just pull them out. Saw this at a record store. Had to have it for the cover alone. Um, immediately knew the type of music that it was. Had to have it. Um, this one, these guys will probably show up a lot. Merciful Fate or King Diamond in some iteration. I chose Don't Break the Oath. I mean, that cover, I saw it. Wow. This is really what a heavy metal album cover should be. A demon pointing at you with fire. I mean, that pretty much sums it up. This is a, maybe cliched and standard, but awesome, you know cover. And I mean, with songs like, Welcome Princess of Hell, Come to the Sabbath, which really, you know if people knew that I had this type of stuff, they are that didn't know about the Slayer collection, they'd be pretty freaked out. Um, and this was thrown in there because of the time of season. Halloween, you know, gotta have it. And so I put that in there. Great cover, great stuff. Um, okay, here's another one. Pretty much kind of standard. Venom. This is black metal. Um, you know, black metal, to hell and back, buried alive, raise the dead, leave me in hell, heavens of fire, Countess Bathory, don't burn the witch. Um, and of course the introduction to At War with Satan. Um, and then there's on the back of the jacket. I don't know if you can. Yeah, that may be hard to see because of the silver on the one side, on the left side. But there's a small start to a poem here. We drink the vomit of the priest, make love with the dying whore. We suck the blood of the beast and hold the key to death's door. So, I thought that would be appropriate, and I also added because I added at Venom at War with Satan because I had to show this because it's really kind of a textured leather look with this cover. Um, Nice, you know, inverted cross, so you have an idea of what the heck's going on here. Um, Another one on the inner gatefold. Um, so yeah. And then the last one here, I've seen this before, so I won't be the first one, but I've there's a story behind this with me, and I can add something a little different, so I can kind of make it a little different. Um, Slayer, Hello Eights. Of course, you could go with several. I wouldn't say all Slayer records really deal and all that. For the most part, they do, but I would have a debate. I don't think they're all about Satan, especially with their later stuff. It If they're taking a shot at religion, it's from a different slant. It's more of a changed, matured slant. But again, that's an argument for another time. But especially early, and their early period is the stuff that I mean, I became aware of them with Christ Illusion. I didn't listen to that album first. The first one I heard was Show No Mercy, their debut, and so I fell in love with that, with especially their three early releases, with Hell Awaits, Show No Mercy, and the Haunting the Chapel EP. Um, it's darker lyrically, I think, and although the style, on their first record wasn't what it was even at Haunting the Chapel, Hell Awaits, and even later, still liked it. But yeah, I mean, before I moved, I had this actually on the wall at the foot of my bed. Kind of weird. That's maybe kind of weird, but I I had to have this on LP. Originally had it only on CD, and it's like you know I had to have this. Um, and then you know I mean obviously the title track. Um, but finishing up here really quickly. Um, you know, Crypts of Eternity, Necrophiliac, which is my favorite Slayer song, because that opening riff is just awesome. Um, and by the way, this is the version that includes songs from Haunting the Chapel. But the line in Kill Again, kill the preacher's only son, watch the infant die, bodily dismemberment, drink the purest blood. I still love that line. Thanks, guys.